Hello, all. It is good to be here. Hello, Spoon Lady. Hello, Pickles and Tin Hat. Hello, Tropigal. Yes. Hello, Mark Wriggles. Hello, Caney Creek Gypsy. Hold the line there in Texas. We're going to get across this finish line. Hello, Texas Dad in Burleson, Texas, checking in. Hello, Steve. Hello, Judy. Hello, Bob and Darnell in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Hello, Linda. Let's see. Tahoe Builder checking in from a very snowy Lake Tahoe. Hello, Alice, Carol, Tug, Anthony. Desert Girl, Ehoo, Yoo-hoo. I kind of like that one. All right, that's a good one. All right, hello, Chili Philly. Happy Tuesday, Annette. Hello, Deer Park, Texas. Happy Carolina went screaming past. Lady Hawk, good to see you. Hello, Lau Waddle in Seattle, Washington. Hello, Lowell. Irish guy. Hello, Bill. Hello, Songfi. Stuck in Seattle. Wow, that's not surprising. Stuck in Seattle, 4 flights canceled. Now you're feeling the pain that many of the bond folks, 4A folks, some of the paymasters are all suffering right now. Nightmare to travel right now around the world. Hello, Christine. It's good to see you. Hello, Trier49. Rhonda, good morning up there in the big PA. Hello, Gina. Hello, Patty. Hello, Marty. Wiley, Texas. Archbishop Davis, it's good to see you as always. We even have Geneva in the house. Jay Meister, it's the wrong shirt. I'm probably not going to be too popular today. No, anyways, we'll talk about it. Hello, Giving Goddess in Georgia. I've got to get to Georgia this week for some car parts. That's going to make for an interesting day. Hello, Theodore. Hello, Gary, Vegas Waymaker. Hello, 12 Monkeys and Red Wing Goose. That's what we've been kind of Red Wing. I've been looking for it to tap that record, set a new one, and then crash. We'll see how that one plays out for me, right? Hello, Dr. Connie. Whoa. Too early for that. Hello, Andrew in Thailand. Or XRP bloke. Leslie, rock your red tack. Good to see you. Beautiful day you've got down there in Woodland, Texas. It's a pretty day here in the Carolinas. Pretty and warm. I've got friends working on leaves in the front yard. They're like, hey, man, we got some time off. You want us to come knock out your front yard? I was like, yes. Hello, Daniel in Panama City, Florida. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Louisiana lady, and John Johnson. Oh, well, John, you were here, then you were gone. There you go. Cheers. East Idaho, Catherine, good to see you. Ronnie, pleasure to have you here. Hello, Kim in snowy Portland, Oregon. Greencastle, PA. We got everybody in the house. All right. Sheila, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. 75 in Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, what are we going to get here? Let's see. Checking the weather. 58 presently, with a high today of 71 in the Carolinas. Boy, that's unusual. But it'll be nice. Mostly sunny today. Mostly sunny. Let's see. Mark did. Morning to see Holly's post. That might be another couple of weeks yet. Not seeing Holly's, but I can tell you. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do that one so we can go ahead and get that out of the way. It would not surprise me based on what I'm getting out of Europe right now. Travel issues, whatever. Most of my bond and attorneys and paymasters there are not planning on returning until Sunday because of the travel issues that are going on right now. They're delaying their plans getting back. Here on the U.S. side of it, I've heard even the Admiral's a few hours away, but he is nearby if they pull the trigger on the Reno side of it. I don't want to say it, but I think they're pushing us to very beginning of next week. I've not heard anything on DHS deliveries, but the continuing problem I'm hearing is just getting back into the seat as people are traveling. Nobody is arriving as quickly as they should be. Maybe they're just lazy because of the time of year. I think they are squarely pushing us to Sunday, Monday. That's what I think. Don't beat up on me. Could be any moment still. I'm still getting that out of Paymasters. I'm still getting out of the banking side. On the redemption side of it, their conversation this morning was that they should fully expect to work this coming weekend. And that's all I've got at this point. It has been pretty quiet out there, guys. I'm getting the same reoccurring theme that they're having troubles getting back into their seats. Would be a perfect time to pull the trigger when nobody's expecting it, though. I will say that. Whew, let's see. I'm waiting. Quiet Storm looking for the third. Now, guys, they can absolutely pull the trigger first. They can pull the trigger before the end of the year. They can give us our 800 numbers before the year and then start bringing us in, and that still counts. I'm thinking the travel issue has something to do with the RV and not. It very well could be, Michael. Wait, TJ Katz, happy birthday. Before I forget, Red Wing, yeah, for them a delay, hey, we can't get it till Monday. 3-4 days, it doesn't mean anything to people with money. You have a good point there. Sven, good morning in Denmark. Herschel, boo. I knew I was going to get booed this morning when I shared that one. I knew I was going to get booed. I am with you. I'm grateful it's going to go. I'm just grateful it's going. I mean, it fully appears that we are well underway. We're just very frustrated that we don't have it at our level, that we're not spending anything yet. That's the frustrating part. One Bushmaster, that is what we call winning, getting free rent in somebody's head. When you drive somebody to that level of craziness and you don't even try, it's free rent. For glory to Christ, it's really easy to get over at Trolling News Network. For glory to Christ, if you want, you can send me a email and I will send you the link before tonight so that you have the direct link to pull you right into it. Super easy. Josh says there's no travel issues. That's just a lie. Well, I can tell you from a couple of folks that I have that made the mistake of leaving that they are indeed having canceled flights, sitting in airports and trying to get there. So I do know that some have it. Whether or not that's a legitimate excuse for delaying this overall, that's another question. Ooh, Dean, I like the way Dean put this one. Holding patterns are a dangerous thing. Eventually you run out of fuel if they don't let you land, right? I did see somebody make another comment. I kind of like this one. Military is supposed to be in control of everything. Why don't they just fly? And now they could. And that's why I say don't rule it out, because it would be a golden time. Would a lot of 4A, would a lot of connected people get delayed days redeeming? Yes. But would the world get to move forward? Yes, if they went ahead and pulled it. In other words, if the military moved only the necessary people for the reset, they could go ahead and pull this trigger. And, the wealthy whales that aren't as worried about their money, if they're delayed 4 or 5 days because they go to the back of the line, I'm not going to feel bad. I don't know if you're going to feel bad. I won't feel bad. I just want my 800 number so I can set my appointment so that I can know that we have hit the finish line. I'll be even happier when it's in my account, but I would be content with that one. Ted Zisa, I love that one. I like it. All right, before I can possibly forget this one. Private jets are also, guys, fractional jets are in short supply right now because a number of wealthy are doing just that. They're using those instead of commercial airlines. It's crazy. There is a serious travel issue going on as we speak. But I do want to share something before I forget for Jim. Jim, hopefully you and the wife are joining us. It is their 55th wedding anniversary today. And as he put it, 55 years ago today, we were married. This is Jim talking about he and his wife. We got pregnant to make sure we could have babies. At least that's what I told her dad. Yeah. Well, you didn't want to settle down. You guys didn't want to commit to each other and then be, biologically incompatible and not be able to have kids. So it really wasn't that it was an oops or a mistake. It was on purpose, right? That's Jim. I got such a chuckle out of that one this morning. That one was fantastic. What do you guys think of that one? Nancy P, tomorrow is my parents' 59th anniversary. That is just awesome. You know, I screwed up on the first one, so without med beds, I'm never going to get the bonus of saying I had a 50 year or a 59 or a 60 year, like Dr. Rich and Tippy. They just celebrated their 50th just a couple of days ago. It really is special, especially in today's world. See, Mike is putting it out. Congratulations, Jim, for finding someone to love till death do us part. To me, that is just, it's still a special thing. It's still something to be strived for. So for you out there that have made it, kudos to you guys. Frank 26 said 10/15 is a very important date. Not certain what that one means, Sam, because we've clearly gone past, or the 10th to the 15th. I can tell you, I mean, Iraq has made it very clear, guys. They have opened up border crossings. They have fully digitized their banking system in preparation. They have issued QI cards to the mass population. They have put administration into place. They have, I mean, the efforts there for them to be able to revalue have been tremendous and very trackable. It's something that you can look at. The chatter out of Iraq proper has been fantastic. Gerard Tolsma, what do you think about Biden not having a plan? Well, we knew he didn't have a plan to start with. His plan was literally Trump's plan. I think he's finished. I think he's finished too. They're already looking. He has already floated it out there. He's already said, hey, you know, of course I'll run, especially if it's Donald. Well, you know, if my health is there, you know, it's kind of early. I have every intention of running. He's already floated that, saying, you know, as long as there's no health this or health that. I mean, he has literally floated the excuse already and just waiting for people to pick up on it. Waiting for people to pick up on it. All right, let's touch on some news. Let's touch on it real quickly. Rip through it. One, there are 2 articles on this front that I have in here. Well, fortunately, one of my favorite news gatherers shared these. 2 different ones. Let's see, 100 certain foods, best natural sources, ranked 21 rich foods that belong in your diet and the benefits. Both of these I thought were great, especially as we learn more and more about quercetin. We're learning just how effective, and many of the things that we thought were responsible for improved immune systems, we find out that they're actually high in this, that it is because of what's in them that makes them so effective. So thought I would share that one. Even elderberry, so many of them, they are high in the quercetin. So that, I thought that was worth sharing with you guys. Those, ooh, I forgot to send those. Let's do that real quickly, guys. Caught me sleeping again. Caught me sleeping. Let's get these where they go. All right, now back to you for your regularly scheduled program, right? Hello, Bowler. Let me get back down to here. Just heard some mainstream media, former vice president, doesn't surprise me. Glad to hear JP Morgan. We do have to discuss that in a minute on the major banks, and I've got an article to help with that one. All right, here we go. I liked this one, guys. Let's see if I can bring it up. The bug will be ever present even in a post-pandemic world, according to a doctor. There are a number of them. This one actually made Yahoo. In other words, do your best to protect yourselves. It is forever going to be here. It's going to be like the common flu, the common cold, and it is time to make common sense approach. Everything we all already knew, guys, being talked about here on Yahoo Finance. This is mainstream, and I thought that was important for us. All right, on Ripple, because boy, did I get a lot of comments. Oh, it's decentralized. it depends on your definition. This is a hotly discussed topic, and it both is and it isn't. Think of it more as a hybrid. It has a central company, Ripple, that controls it. XRP, the underlying asset, is theoretically decentralized, meaning that if Ripple folds, XRP could continue to operate. The takeaway on this one, though, is just how functional it is, and I think that's really where we should focus. You can argue that XRP is decentralized, but Ripple, the company, is centralized. There's so much back and forth. The reason they have gotten so much scrutiny is because there is a central company to go after. Ripple, which is development team. They take advantage of, sell their services in the financial world, and that's why they've gone after them harder. I still think XRP is going to be a great one. I think there are more out there that have even more upside than XRP, but I do think it has some very solid upside. Here is an excellent breakdown on the centralized, decentralized, and it really is going to depend on your definition of what you consider centralized and decentralized. After reading it, I think I'm going to change my opinion to say that the managing company is centralized. The underlying asset of XRP itself is decentralized. Ripple, though, does have the ability to print more XRP at whim if needed. That's one of the parts that scares me with it, or one of the parts, I shouldn't say scares me, one of the parts that makes me believe that it won't have 10,000 times its present value, that I think it will go up 5, 10, maybe even 50 times. But I think silver will do that as well. All right, my thoughts on that one. But I included that so you guys can read and make your own decision. All right, NID, funded experiments on foster children, recounted in RFK Jr.'s bestseller. This was a pretty good breakdown, guys, talking about his book and that chapter and some of those experiments. What I found the most interesting was the amount of fire that he is taking from professionals on this, from folks that were involved, and said, hey, he is deeply involved in every bit of the funding. He was not responsible, he was managing and putting money in the one for the AIDS children's. He was not the one directly there, the doctor on the ground day to day, but he was overseeing it. He tried to claim wasn't involved. They're saying, hey, he micromanages everything. He was very involved in it, and they had raised the flag on it, and he did not care because he felt like the research needed to be done. So what if we lose some people? It's all for the greater good. His book. All right, Chinese shrinking population is a big economic issue. That one was a pretty good breakdown. You would think the government needs fewer people, but at the same time, if you get fewer people, then you don't have a bigger working class to take care of the folks as they retire, and they have a huge number of people approaching that. In other words, they're getting ready to have a crap show from the one-child rule where they did that in taxes. Those folks are getting older now. There aren't enough children to take care of or to funnel into retirement benefits like we have, Social Security, that kind of thing. So it was interesting. Just like I'd mentioned before, guys, that I am actually pro-immigration in the U.S., because we are shrinking without it. It's the only reason we are showing a positive population growth. And we only grew 300,000 or 400,000 this year, even with all of the immigration. Without immigration, we would have shrunk, 1.5 million, 2 million people in the U.S. China is facing a similar problem. And it becomes like, well, how do we take care of all these folks in retirement? Do we just, or do we not? Do we just collapse that system? So sorry, you guys, you're going to be old and in a ditch. And that's what they're facing. So I thought that was interesting. They are facing some serious issues there, just like many countries around the world after a population explosion. Wells Fargo banks and Bank of America and other banks temporarily close hundreds of branches. Can't get enough staffing, restrictions, well, you have to be jabbed. People won't get jabbed. Just a serious shortage. They are closing. They're only opening this branch 2 days a week, that branch 3 days a week, moving people back and forth. The reason I'm bringing this one up, and this is a pretty good, that's definitely part of the problem. Another part of it, these tier 1 banks, many of them will not be necessary as we change to a asset-backed currency and a QFS system. They're thinning things down, and I think they are thinning things down on purpose. They're simply not going to need that staff. A lot of people are saying that they're going to be nationalized. I've seen a couple of emails to that effect. Don't know who mentioned that. It's not really that you're nationalizing those banks. It is they no longer serve a purpose, so the banks are going to become more like concierge and service-based instead of a place to store your money, because that's not where you're going to store your money. You'll be able to use the banks to invest your money. It is simply a changing of their business model. It's not that we are nationalizing them. They're just having to change what they do or be relegated to immaterial, meaning they won't matter at all, because we're just not going to need them. So they got to change what they're doing for their business model or go out of business. It's like the pizza restaurant that now serves biscuits because there was too much competition in the pizza business. That type of thing. They are simply changing what they do. Good commentary or breakdown on the great worker shortage and what is causing basic services to really break down all across America. This one kind of focused on, it touched on the banking, the digital finance, also on nursing, and pretty heavily. What I did not know were the number of nurses that are looking to leave the industry completely. I mean, we're talking almost 2/3 of the nurses in the U.S. are looking at a change of career over the next year or two. This is kind of spooky. As they put the mandates, they're not appreciated. Why do it? There are too many jobs out there, too many things they can do. So that one is it's been interesting. Roz, could the Biden administration stop the RV? They have delayed it. They can't stop it. They can continue to attempt to throw curves. At some point, the economy crashes and they have no curves left to throw. Excellent point, though, Diva. Diva Sheila, the whole medical industry will shift with med beds. It will. It will shift completely. I agree with you. But we need the technology first. They need to release the technology before the nurses are gone, or we're screwed. Now, if we release it now, then it's not going to matter if we have a shortage of nurses, because they're not going to be needed. You're still going to need some. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you. Yeah, the circumstances have nothing to do with me. No, he's the only reporting what he knows. The holdup is lawyers, corrupt bankers, Congress, Senate, current administration. Current administration has definitely been a holdup. That being said, though, the Trump administration certainly could have pushed harder than they did. And I know I'll catch backlash for that one, but they certainly, in my opinion, they could have. I know it's a battle. I know it's a war. I know it's chess and all of those things. I want somebody to stand up and shout from the mountains and fight hard where I can see it. Sarah, you found me. It'll get easier Thursday when we're back on the normal channel. It will be much easier. I'm with you, Bert. Fauci is definitely not science. Let's think about this one. He told us masks didn't work. Then he told us they did. Then even cloth masks work. Then he comes out and tells us cloth masks, they knew all along didn't, but people needed to be calmed down, so that they gave them the illusion of doing something about it, even though it doesn't help them at all. Then he still pushes for it in children, even all the data and statistics say otherwise. He's the same one that said you should not even live or breathe in a house with somebody with AIDS. This goes back years. He thought the whole world was going to be dead by now because of it. I'm just going to keep going on. He told us one shot was going to do it, then 2 shots, then a booster shot, then every 6 months, maybe once every year, then every 3 months. There is nothing coherent coming out of the man's mouth, and that's my personal opinion. And you're not allowed to criticize him. He's been wrong more than every guru in the dinar industry. How's that? If you're looking for his level of correctness. I'm going to say it again, and I can tell you 100% of my bankers say you do not need a trust to exchange. And that's all I can tell you. You guys can keep asking me the question, but I'm going to keep telling you 100% of my bankers say you do not need a trust to exchange, that they're not going to hold money. They're not going to keep you from getting it, that you do not need it. And I know there are people out there saying that their contacts do tell them they need one. So all I can tell you is it's a difference of opinion. If you guys are worried about it, get one. But most of the ones telling you you have to have one are telling you that you're only going to be allowed to have $1 million of your money until you get one. So stop and think that one through. If they are indeed right, it's not the end of the world. That means you can go get $1 million. You can get a trust within 20 or 30 minutes on the computer. You can literally go to LegalZoom or whatever once you have $1 million and get one. You can call up an attorney and say, hey, I need a trust today. Who will do it? Somebody will jump through the hoops and do it. I don't understand why we're still having the discussion. It is such a non-relevant issue to this thing. Should you educate yourself on trusts? Absolutely. Will you need one after to protect your new wealth? In my opinion, yes. So learn about them, but don't let it shake you. It's not going to keep you from getting your dollars. If they are somehow right and 100% of my bankers are incorrect and you're only allowed to have $1 million of your dollars, it's going to mean you'll get the rest of it in 2 or 3 days. If $1 million won't hold you for a couple of days, you got some big issues. But other than that, why worry about it? So many other things we can worry about. My relatives want me to provide a negative PCR test in order to see them for the holidays. Needless to say, I didn't see them. Dazzo, I cannot wait for this craziness to start. Just like on the airlines where the unhinged lady's spitting and hitting at a man with her mask down because he won't wear a mask. She's worried about spreading germs and she is spitting on him and screaming with her mask. It's just, the world has gone nuts no matter what the science is. I mean, at this point, the science is overwhelming that natural immunity is far superior. Anthony won't even have the conversation, will not even discuss it. He just defers, deflects, refuses to. And then you have to ask yourself why, because the science is crystal clear at this point. I think the absolute worst study so far that has been peer reviewed has been a 1,300% superiority for natural immunity as opposed to one of those. Diva, I'm with you on that one. I think it is. I mean, it's not a pleasant cure for it. It's not the ideal way to do it. And why are people not more upset about the fact that it came from a lab? At this point, 99.9% of experts agree on that one. They unleashed something like this on purpose on humanity. Or perhaps they did leak, but it was made in. It's still made, man-made. We should be so horribly upset. We should be ripping down the halls of Congress to find out what money was spent and where. Why grandmother, our friends, Strawberry, so many folks that we have lost. While Paul Obel is fighting this in the hospital as we speak. While so many people are. I know we're busy screaming at each other because our neighbor didn't wear a mask when they walked Fido. It is absolutely asinine, insane, and nuts. Nobody seems to be worried about the underlying or how we got here. Can you tell that part frustrates me? Before I forget, though, because that did bring up one, and I do want to share with you guys. Let's see here. Dr. Rich can't find us. Let's see. All right, Kevin. I want to share this one. Let me keep going till I get it. There we go. Priscilla sent me a message last night, guys. Paul's wife, Paul Obel's wife, wanted me to know that Paul is in ICU critical still with COVID since the 16th. He needs a lot of prayer warriors fighting for his miracle. I do believe that God, do not believe that God is done with him. He still has much to do for the kingdom. Thanks for inquiring. Blessings. That is from Priscilla, and she is asking for prayers for Paul as he continues to fight and fight hard. Because I also agree with her. I do not believe God is done in any way with him. Do not believe in any way done with Paul, his life, his message, his ministry. All right, pretty good one there, Stock Jockey. Prayers for Paul. Definitely prayers for Paul. Yeah, I do. Somebody said Dr. Z's protocol is good. Highly suggested. You look at Frontline FLCC. I mean, statistically, their rate was it 87%? I think better chance of saving you than the one that the mainstream hospitals are using. I mean, that's a massive difference. Massive. Ooh, then we've got the Columbia University study that is diving into the actual number of problems with this and deaths, and they're showing over 400,000 deaths because of this. I'm still waiting. I do not know why that one hasn't gotten more traction. We talked about it. What, guys? End of last week? Was it end of last week? I think we talked about the Columbia study. They're showing over 2 million adverse reactions, 1 million that are already documented. Wow. California snow closes interstate, knocks out power to 90,000. I assume it's in the northern part of California. UFO Wisconsin was hospital delivering stuff yesterday. Security asked if I'd had any symptoms. I said yes. For 63 years, he gave me a sticker and dropped off my boxes at the lab. One thing I do want to, and this is probably a pretty good one. Let's see if I can find this one. Give me just a minute, guys. Looking for a certain number in here, and I'm trying to remember where it was at. I'm looking. Here we go. This is coming out of a nurse in Ventura County Hospital. An ICU nurse says the number of sick, critically ill people in her Ventura County Hospital has become overwhelming, pushing her facility's patient census to the highest levels she has ever seen. It has never been this busy, and none of its COVID-19. I said it. 19. Dana says, and none of it is. We don't normally see this amount of strokes, aneurysms, and heart attacks all happening at once. Normally, we'll see 6 to 10 aortic dissections a year. We've seen 6 in the last month. If you guys are wondering, that's a 1,200% increase. Let's see. We've seen 6 in the last month. It's crazy. Those have very high rates of mortality. I am getting similar ones study after study. Here's the one I was looking for. 2/3 of nurses surveyed by the American Association of Critical Care Nurses said their experiences during the pandemic have prompted them to consider leaving the field, and 21% of those polled in a study for the American Nurses Foundation said they plan to resign within the next 6 months. Another 29% said they might. That was actually the number I was looking for earlier, guys, and couldn't find it in the article. But just getting overwhelmed. Right? You're right, Bushmasty. D, I know that they did have to use dialysis at one point on them to get fluid under control, D, so I'm going to guess that they did indeed use the R word on them. That's just my guess. Not something I thought was proper to ask his wife. Tracy, so far I think I've lost 3 friends, Tracy, to the actual bug, and I've lost close to a half a dozen to the jab, and many others that have had continuing issues with it. So, I mean, I think you really need to weigh and measure. Are you at risk? Are you 75? Do you have a comorbidity? Otherwise, I think you're better off counting on, that's my opinion, but then I've had it and recovered. So I recognize that my opinion is very slanted on this one. Dallas thinks it'll get even worse. That's the subject I was talking all around to Heartskoko, but afraid to comment on completely. Oh, wow. There you go. Make certain that I'm properly prepared for Dr. Rich. Mike, I really hope that it all happen. I'll have control of my funds for the end of January 2022. I could help so many. I think that's probably what frustrates all of us the most, Mike, is the amount of good we could be doing right now in a world that needs it. Oh, that's a good one. Morning, Larry. Hello, April. Let's see. I like this one. Merle says, I'll be believing the very best for Paul. God still does heal. Yes, he does. Let's stand on Matthew 8:19. God will heal him. Amen. Let's see. I've already touched on this one today, Martha. I feel like I'm beating my head on a brick wall. If I could find a place to print it and stream it from the mountainside, I can tell you 100% of my contacts say no, that you do not need a trust first. But let's just say they are correct. And you only get $1 million. You can have a trust within 30 or 40 minutes and then get the rest of your dollars. It's just not something that you guys should be worried about. If you can afford one, great. If you can't, wait. Do not do without what you need because somebody has fear-mongered you into buying their product. I think the confusion about trust is in the wording. As I understand it, you can go redeem. If you don't have the trust, you get $1 million plus. Yeah, that's the worst case. This is, and Gina, that in very simple terms is the worst case. You still get to go redeem. And in the worst case, the worst possible case is you only get $1 million until you get your trust squared away, which will take you a couple of hours when you have the money. It's just so not anything worth worrying about, guys. It is so far down on the list of things to worry about. Should you get educated on them? Absolutely. If you can get one ahead, fantastic. Are we expecting all of our legal structures to change? Yes, we are. We're expecting a change with NACERA and our entire legal system back to common law. So 90% of the trusts out there, you could go get one, and they're going to be useless garbage. Unless we're completely wrong, and this is just a deep state reset, we get our money, but we still have our existing laws, then we got a whole different set of things to worry about if that's the case. I do not, Wriggles, do not have an FAQ. And honestly, it's because of the amount of time to set one up and the hours involved. I just don't have, I'm already doing 70 hours a week. The negative is if I had one, it would probably save me 20 hours a week. Sue, I'm also just not getting that on the tranching over 25 years. Just, I mean, exactly 0 of my people think that that is a real thing. Just refresh it. It'll show even more watching, but let's see. Matter of fact, we can do that right now because my back office will show an actual current. Right now, they're about 3,000. Watching live and commenting, and it definitely went down some after we got switched to the backup channel, and that's okay. This is not a monetized channel for Skefla out there. I'm not making any dollars doing this at all. 0. And if you ever saw my regular channel, they demonetized 3/4 of them. Project funds. Bobby, I'm hearing if there will be a second meeting for humanitarian projects, and depending on your project, you could walk away immediately with some in your hands, ready to spend, but it will be over about a 30-day period is what I have been told on project funding. Otherworld me, do my 1,000 personalities count as individual viewers? Yes, we're only, well, Skeffla's watching from about 7 or 8 or 20 different. Every time he gets mad and gets booted, he logs into another YouTube and tips me yet more by being here. He is absolutely my best viewer. He brings more money to the channel than any of you guys. All right, I thought it was funny. Some great ideas, Cynthia. I love some of these ideas. I would help the seniors to be able to have rollators, walkers, scooter things they cannot afford, and senior services don't have enough money to help them with their pets, meds, and essentials. I think it would be great to have a crew or to fund some that go around and just help disabled people or seniors that have gotten too old to properly take care of pets. Help them empty a litter box, take the dogs for a walk, scoop the backyard. Could also be a great way to, I mean, you could hire all teenagers, middle schoolers that work in the neighborhood. It'd be a great humanitarian project, Cynthia, to help with that, but also with mobility. Hopefully with med beds, we're not going to need that, but hey, still, until then, we do need it. Reading through comments. Let's see. What did Bowler say? Wait, Bowler, there you are. UK government. In the long term, people who took the J will be far more vulnerable to any mutations in the spike protein that might come along, even if they have already been infected and recovered once or more than once. The meanwhile, will procure lasting, if not permanent, immunity to all strains. Yeah, that's one thing we do know, guys, that previous infection is showing superior protection with all new strains, including, I know, and they are seriously downplaying this one, including the new OMA. They try to come out and say, well, initially, we don't think that there's going to be much effect from it. And they really, really have been thumping that one, even though there are a couple studies at this point that showed that previous infection is showing a marked ability to mitigate the effects of the new one. Hey, don't take my word for it. Study the science. Yes, K-Crest, I did. Matter of fact, I'll get you a picture sent for your baseline. Thank you. I am so far behind on thank yous from over the holiday season, guys. The channel change really threw me a curve. Sharon, I like this one too. Love to take care of abandoned, abused, or senior dogs. A number of folks have mentioned that they want to start no-kill shelters, meaning in areas that because of overpopulation, they have kill shelters. They want to set up no-kill shelters to properly take care of them. Hello, Michael. It's good to see you. Michael, whales do not have to redeem before it's our turn. We do not have to have them all redeemed before it is our turn. Ronald, I'm still feeling it out. I can tell you that I can feel some physical changes. It's just too early to give much of a take on it yet. I can tell you that joints and things have been doing some really funky things, like they're knitting from inside or something. It is the weirdest feeling. Janet, can I tell you how many people I know had that? You know, I still remember people being and neighbors, kids in church, fellow folks being invited over when my family was going through it. Talmadge, I'm trying to think of some of the others that were invited over just to get it, so that they could get it while they were young and while it did not hurt or had very little chance of any negative. I think with all the bed until and all the bankers being wrong, I'm not certain I caught that one, but okay, I didn't take any. Skefflin, I told you, be glad to have that conversation if you can find this magical, mythical person. I mean, but if you want me just to make up things about you, I'd be glad to. Glad to. Hello, SJG. Looking forward to having chickens and goats. I built the pen and just need fencing. Fresh eggs. Fresh eggs are good. Let's see. I've never had chickenpox. That is pretty rare. Or did you possibly have it and we're just a little more asymptomatic? Just thought it was a rash. I wonder. It is pretty rare not to have them. Hello, Natasha Higginbotham. Let's see. Receive Zimbabwe. Oh, Zimbabwe. Boy, that's harsh, Zamico. Let's see. Is it true of the things we need to take with us to be able to exchange? Yes, Max, this is one of the things you must take. Fried chicken, perhaps some collard greens. I'm not certain. I'm waiting for a complete list so that we can, right? It is some of the crazy information you see out there. Some supposed guru will post it, and then the entire Chicken Little world is running around with their hair on fire. Sharon, I agree with you on this one. So many need help. Abundant number of projects that could be started on different ideas, guys, and they are also very prepared for a lot of duplicity or duplication in projects. So do not hesitate to come up with more than one thought, because some of them are going to have so many people doing them. They're going to need somebody to take different projects. So you could come out, they could give you so much for a project, it becomes a non-issue. It's cured. Let's say veteran housing. So many people attack it that it is within months. It's a non-issue. It's taken care of. Well, then you can then turn around and change your gears and do something else humanitarian-wise, is what I've been told. And that certainly makes sense. If they are indeed correct with the amount of funds in St. Germain, Rodriguez, and all of these, why not, right? Then our efforts need to go to a different project once we've fixed one. Whiskey and wisdom appointments. I'm looking forward to one this week. At this point, it looks like we'll have one. I have not seen this, that Germany, Iraq owes Germany $2.6. I've not heard that one yet. My guess is they'll do it through oil if they do. I mean, that's part of the whole oil for dinar. A lot of the companies are holding Iraqi currency, and you can actually go back and look at the dinar for oil thing. I mean, it would take a little bit of searching, but it was talked about as a way of Iraq paying some of those in the past. It actually made mainstream headlines and news as they were talking about how they would pay back from that effort in the rebuilding. Now, Jay, this is probably the most accurate thing I've seen. Satire attached. Heard we're supposed to bring a Pez dispenser topped by a plastic version of your state. Your choice of flavor. I think you should probably keep it. If your state flower is white, you should go with something like, I don't know, the pineapple flavored ones or the cherry flavored ones if your state flower is red. Anybody following the humor we get going right now? I don't know if I would count that one as a project, but it's a heck of an idea, Diva Sheila. I plan to randomly give strangers in my town. Is that a project? Don't know if that one's a project, but I like the idea. Trying to follow some of these. There you go. Christy, you summed it up the most. Let's see. To be clear, as I understand it, guys, if you have a project, you're still going to get the personal amount. And I am told without a project, it does not change the personal amount. The only thing that'll change will be the additional amount you can get for humanity or for the project portion of it. June thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Yeah, see, Eileen, instead of having yard sales, I put things in the back by the alley. I've started doing things like that instead of yard sales because it's just simply too much work to sit out there and haggle. If it's something I need to get rid of, I get rid of it. If somebody wants to pick through it, get it, put out a sign, free, take it, have your fun with it. And otherwise, it's going to some type of charity or the dumpster. Brussels sprouts do have a lot of quercetin in them too, so they're healthy for you. Cheryl, I have yet to find anybody telling me that it's not. I've had a number of people say that it is, a few of them in European banking. So at this point, I believe St. Germain is open and distributing for release of humanitarian funds. That's what I believe to be accurate at this point. I've not seen anything to contradict it. Kind of like this one, Wisconsin Patriot. One of my projects is to start in my own backyard. And I do, guys. If you can start projects in your own area, start there and then grow outward. I think it's a great way to do it. One of my projects start in my own backyard, then the village, then the state, taking down dead trees and clearing the debt out of city, county, state parks and plant millions of new. Jubilant, isn't that a great question? There's a couple that actually seem to have some balls, but Thomas, I'm looking forward to having help, possibly someone to build a duplex for me and my wife and disabled veteran in Iowa. Thomas, when it is time for this, stay with the community. We will make certain that you are not doing without when this thing goes. Ah, man. All right. Sandy, a lot of folks are still confused. We are on a backup channel on YouTube at Trolling News Network. Our normal channel was taken down for a video back in October that they've been doing this random sweep and going after anybody that disagrees with anything. And I mentioned a article, an actual lawsuit that was won on that podcast about the process that happens in November when you pick who's going to be representing you. And they took it down. That you're not allowed to discuss what happened in November. It is not allowed to, even if you have facts, even if it comes from a mainstream news source or even the legal documentation from the court process, you can't talk about it. So we're on a backup channel. Trolling News Network. I mean, even Skefla found it. Passcode for CBD Gurus is KRAMCBD. KRAMCBD, all lowercase. Also, Matt is back in the saddle, guys. I talked to him this morning. He sounds great. They will be 100% current on all back orders by Thursday around lunch. They are churning through them now that they have him back. And boy, I tell you, he sounded good. He's no longer on any kind of supplemental oxygen. I think I told him, I was like, hey, you still should hit that supplemental oxygen when you can because it is so very, very healthy for you. Help recover that damage. So, Matt, if you're watching, of course, you may not be. You went away before the channel change. You may not know where to find us. So if anybody's waiting, that is your update from CBD Gurus. They will be 100% good to go by midday or by lunch or so on Thursday. All of the pack orders will be out. Rose, yeah, see? True facts. We can't have that. It's got to be about the feelings, not the facts. Any birthday? Oh, I didn't even notice the time. Yeah, any birthdays today, guys? Birthdays real quick before Dr. Rich calls. Hello, Kiss Shore. It's good to see you. I'm not all confused. It'll happen sooner or later. Exactly. Bam. That's it. Guys, we do not know. We are all guessing. Every guru out there, whether they feeding you absolute utter BS or not, they are guessing at the date based on what we are hearing from all the different sources, both government and banking, and giving you our gut thought. If they're telling you that they know the exact date, guys, I mean, you just know they're absolutely full of BS. Because of security, they hide that so extremely well. All right, I'm digging the coffee. I'm going through it entirely too quickly. I'm going to need Dr. Rich to call soon. Let's see. Have we found any birthdays yesterday? Let's go, Brandon. I had a birthday yesterday. Finally hit the retarded. I'm guessing, I'm not certain which age that is. With boys, it's about 13, and it doesn't go away for quite some years. Boy, we're slow. Nancy said, now that you said Trolling News Network, I was able to get in here. I've been missing your shows. Good morning, Anaheim, California. Nancy, it is good to see you in here. Hello, Sakaya Iku. Hello, Larry. Let's see. Eating us. Trying to find if we have any more before we go there. Sue, I'm with you. Heart breaks for the homeless suffering and those. It's just a miserable time for all these folks. TJ, 64th. Kurt, I mean, does this mean I'm singing happy birthday? Hey, I'll do it. Don't threaten me with a good time. Let's see, my brother Daryl's birthday. Which brother Daryl? Mike, right? I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl. Hey, even Natasha kicking in here. Boy, Nanad, I have no idea what to tell you. Best exchange to buy Zim, and they are shipping to Croatia. I don't know. If you guys have any thoughts for Nanad, please share it. We got another birthday. All right, that means I'm singing. We got Free 3GR's birthday. Archbishop, I go back to my normal channel Thursday morning. Archbishop, I'll be back Thursday morning. She's running all around, chasing the windows with my buddies out there helping in the rain in the leaves. All right, happy birthday, happy birthday. I'm singing happy birthday for you guys. Jericho wants to know what the shirt says. Let me back up, show you that, and then I'll do the birthday thing. Then Dr. Rich, for those that want to stick around, will be with us. Straight out of compliance. So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love, may all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. See, I told you I'd sing it. Happy birthday. All right, now, Dr. Rich, if you're out there, this is your shot. Waiting for that one. All right, I'm prepared for it. Oh, there it is. Hello, Dr. Rich.
Good morning. This is an official threat to a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll jump in.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. So how you be this morning?
Oh, fantastic. How about yourself? How was the anniversary and Christmas for you and Tippy?
Sure, it was very good. It was just very relaxing. We, traditional meal and food and nut roll and all that for Christmas, and we enjoyed our 50th anniversary. Actually, we dated 4 years prior to that, so it's really 54 years. But what's another year or two here or there when you have you're a blessed man, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So with all of that, we're waiting for New Year's. It's going to be a long day for me today. My Mountaineers, I know they were only 6-6. They did have a good recruiting year, however, a very good recruiting year, and they're still getting recruits. They're on tonight at 10:15 from Arizona, playing Minnesota.
Playing Minnesota?
The first time ever the two schools have played in football.
Wow. At least you made a couple of folks like ECU had their bowl canceled, which was interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, ECU had a couple of bowls have been canceled because of the bug protocols and what's going on.
I know that. It's a shame. It's a shame, but I thought we were over that, but I guess, guess we're not. But Mark, I'm excited about something. You know, you get to where you kind of do the same things, and that's fine. And we're helping all of us. When I say we, the team, Stacy Z and Tippy P and Dr. Rich and Mark and so on. But I got an email a few days ago from the doctor that treated Tippy and I with COVID, and many others, many others, even from your stream that contacted him. And the man is adorned. He is incredible. But he contacted me, and he was excited about a modality of treatment that has been very helpful, and he's using it in conjunction with the doctor that created it for those who have suffered through, like Tippy and I, with COVID, although we don't have any lingering effects, but I get calls from a lot of people, even one this morning before I went on, that still has lingering effects from COVID a year later. And this approach is going to be very beneficial and has proven to be very beneficial. And it's a newly created approach by the doctor, that is Dr. Ty Vincent, who has created this particular approach. But it is called, if I may talk about this just a little bit, because I know not only is this going to be beneficial for people who have had COVID and lingering effects, and they don't want them anymore. They want to get past that. But how many people do we know, this is a joke, kind of, I'm being facetious here, how many people do we know throughout the year that suffer from upper respiratory problems and allergies and sinus and sore throat and strep throat and bronchitis and pneumonia, etc.? I mean, it's millions and millions and maybe tens of millions of people. So this is something that people may be interested in, and they're going to have to get it from the doctor that treated us, not from me. But I in our Telegram room, Health Topics, Dr. Rich and Tippy, I have already posted the doctor's phone number. He is more than willing to help anybody. And I also posted his office hours. He is not in this week, he and his nurse, but they will be in next week on the 4th of January to begin the new year and helping patients. But I'm going to talk about this a little bit and explain it. The overall procedure or modality of treatment is not new, but what is available to just the respiratory system is. So let me take 5 minutes and go over this. The concept is called LDI, and that is low-dose immunotherapy. And Mark, LDI is similar to something called homeopathy, which most everybody knows about. What LDI does is it blends immunotherapy as used like in allergy injections with general principles of homeopathy. And this is really kind of cool because I used to get allergy shots. I'm familiar with that concept, and I'm familiar with LDI. And I'm also very familiar with using homeopathic remedies to get relief from symptomatic problems. So let's talk about a little bit about the goal of LDI, and it involves encouraging a person's immune system to become more tolerant of antigens instead of provoking the immune system to act against the antigens. Now, in order to understand what that means, what is an antigen? An antigen is it's simply a molecule that initiates the production of an antibody. Ooh, important word, creating antibodies, thus causing an immune response. So antigens are present on the surface of all pathogens, like bacteria and fungi and viruses and other foreign particles. So this approach, LDI, low-dose immunotherapy, works to reduce the likelihood of your immune system reacting against these antigens or immune triggers by doing what? Exposing the body to extremely diluted antigens, many times less potent than regular doses used in what? Allergy shots and vaccine therapy. This is so cool, Mark. Vaccines, and what do? They stimulate an immune response against an antigen. And this is by design. All vaccines. So low-dose immunotherapy, what it does, it reduces the immune response toward the antigen. So it makes your body more susceptible to dealing with it in an easier way and massively reducing your symptoms. And of course, we're talking about specifically respiratory symptoms. If there's any other issues, they'll have to talk to the doctor about that because he can help with all of them. But I'm focusing on, and he is, for this approach, respiratory allergies, problems, issues that are chronic that people deal with all the time. Now, here's a big plus. Vaccines often produce an immune response against antigens other than those that are targeted by the vaccine. Now, this is going to be considered in medicine an abnormal function. And the doctor and I talked about, and he is certainly familiar with nutrigenomics, and he said, Dr. Rich, he said the perfect marriage for those who suffer from chronic respiratory problems is to take a tablet of Protandim NRF2 with breakfast and then use the LDI approach, which is a sublingual approach under the tongue. It's a liquid. It's very easy to do. It comes in 2 different doses. I think 10-day period, and if everything works, it's fine. If not, we use a little bit stronger approach. He will, not me. And as I understand and researching the doctor that created this, it is a very reliable and efficient and successful approach to respiratory issues. So, almost done. This response can bring in undesired, using a vaccine, new allergies or problems such as inflammatory conditions, even autoimmune conditions as side effects to utilizing a vaccine approach to antigens. So inflammation is key. And we know that Protandim NRF2 neutralizes by design oxidative stress, the massive free radical damage, massively decreases inflammation, and whether it leads to pain or symptoms related to disease physiology, and in this case, respiratory problems. And the other is fibrosis, which the NRF2 neutralizes or minimizes the fibrosis, which kind of leads to clots. So this is a good marriage, and utilizing something that is a targeted approach, but it's like, oh man, I'm doing this and I've done really well, but there's just something that's missing a little bit, to get me to feel really good and get over this really well and aid my immune system to helping me to stay healthy. So how do we finish with this? Low-dose immunotherapy targets various types of antigens: bacterial, fungi, mold, protozoa, virus, and hormones. And, Mark, they can also be allergens derived from, and this is a plus, not only for respiratory system, but from chemicals, foods, pollens, and even animals. So the promise of low-dose immunotherapy removes many of the strict restrictions that people would follow if they're taking allergy shots, they're allergic to certain foods, etc., and that means that they could consume these a little more readily with caution. People won't know how to do that. So, Mark, this is kind of cool. I mean, as I understand it, and I'm just learning, and I have some on the way. We're certainly going to try it. We have a couple of things we want to look at and see how it works relative to me being 72 and Tippy a little bit younger. I have to say it that way, you know. But if Tippy's yelling, it's the truth. But in relation to upper respiratory problems, and they're prevalent. I mean, even in the springtime and summertime, people suffer through this low-dose immunotherapy formula. In its infection file, as it's been designed specifically for respiratory problems, not all the other problems used in LDI, things such as the coronavirus, most upper respiratory infections, including strep, bronchitis, and pneumonia. Oh my God, Mark, I'm kind of excited about another approach to combining what we already know gets the body to function as a kid again, the NRF2 at least, and if they want information and you're brand new and you don't know what I'm talking about, and people are saying, what is Dr. Rich? It's Greek. Well, folks, go to scienceandtiming.com and watch at least the first video. That's what I'm referring to. But if you have an affliction other than this upper respiratory situation that I'm talking about this morning, then you'll want to watch the second and third video and find out what the science of nutrigenomics is all about and what's possible. And again, one more situation where somebody ordered and they can't find themselves and so on, and they're from your stream and they didn't do it correctly. If you relate to what I'm talking about, which is always science, Mark. I'm not out there with anything else. I'm dealing with medical science, and I'm dealing with a medical doctor, two of them now with this approach. Go to Mark's site, abcgotit.com/the original MarkZ. Go to the bottom of the first screen where the three video doctors present in 30 minutes, incredible information, and you can go to products and you can find what you're looking for. Because if not, you're going into Never Land, and we're never going to be able to find you or assist you. This person this morning wanted to add to what she's taking and start her husband on it, and she said, I can't find myself. I don't know what to do. So we'll help her after the stream. So with all of that, Mark, I don't know if there are questions or not, but I always get, on a regular basis, people say, Dr. Rich, I had COVID, and I still am tired, or I still have no taste, or my smell isn't as good as it should be, or for me, it was like every once in a while something still tastes salty, but this is common. I get this request a lot, that people, and many times they've not heard of Protandim NRF2, so that's the first approach, obviously, to over helping the cells and the genome to react to and recognize abnormal cell function and adjust so that it's normal. Even with any types of treatment that cause abnormal function that's not beneficial to the human body and makes us feel sick, that is a huge benefit. But with this, We're talking about a specific issue that is rampant in our country. And I cannot wait to start trying this, using it in the field, getting feedback, seeing how it works. He is already down that road, and he is just jumping up and down, excited over the positive results. So that's where we are, my friend. Ooh, my goodness, this is what a way to start a new year.
Definitely. Somebody asked a better way of dissolving stones, kidney stones.
Dissolving what?
Kidney stones.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. First of all, kidney stones, they're caused by an excess of production of uric acid, which isn't good. You've got to keep, and that happens because they're too acidic. Most of the time, they're not drinking enough water, and a lot of times people with kidney stones drink a lot of soft drinks or alcohol, or they don't drink water. They drink everything but water. First approach is to start drinking water, and if it's a kidney stone, it would be better if it was alkaline water. If not alkaline water, then mix a teaspoon of baking soda in 6 ounces or 5 ounces of water and drink that a half hour before each meal. That will help. Now, with this, and I have a neighbor who just went through this, and it helped him very quickly. He was told he had a kidney stone, and it was uncomfortable, and I had him, I gave him the information as to how to order 2 single herbs from Nature Sunshine. You can get it from Vitacost as well, but it's hydrangea. Hydrangea is a stone solvent, whether it's for kidney stones or gallstones. This will actually soften up and break down the stones and take the sharp edges off of kidney stones so they can pass easily. And the other is a mucilaginous, slippery type herb called slippery elm. If you combine those 2 with the heart stack, NRF1, NRF2, and the omega, passing the kidney stone should be relatively quick. Now, when I say that, should be, the person has to really be responsible to changing some things to stop those kidney stones, but that's how you get rid of them. Tim.
Awesome. Now I'm waiting for some more good questions in this one. Some folks had asked if you're going to be available post RV because they can't really afford to go here yet. I get that. Definitely understand that. And I assured them that, yeah, you were going to be here. Most definitely. You were planning on being exceptionally busy helping people when this thing goes, because you know that money does limit a lot of folks. Jackie.
Right. And Stacy Z goes through that too. And we talked the other day, and I said something that was in relation to something else, and she thought it was in relation to me, that it's time to hang things up, and I forget what I was talking about. She said, "Oh my God," she said, "are you quitting?" And I said, "No, it's not time yet, Stacy." So we yes, we'll be available, and sooner versus later, I'm hoping that's the case, because that is going to be, and I get communications a lot, and even consult with people, and they say, okay, I have my notes. I listen to you all the time. As soon as funds become available, I'm not only going to buy for myself, but I'm going to get for a lot of other people. So we are going to have our hands full when we get to that point, for sure. So yes, we'll be available. Now I say that tongue in cheek. I'm not allowed on a ladder anymore. You know, I was doing really good with my back, and then my professional golf buddy, John Ross, sent me those new Shrixon irons, and I got them adjusted, and I thought it was 55 degrees. I'm going to go try them. And I kind of messed my back up a little bit, but I went back to the chiropractor yesterday, and he said, no more golf, nothing else. Let this go for about 6 weeks or so and heal up completely so you can golf in April. So as long as nothing else occurs, good Lord willing, yep, I'll be here. So will Tippy.
Amen. So what do you take for UTI problems?
Okay. First and foremost, my suggestion is always at least 1 tablet of Protandim NRF2, because UTIs are caused by oxidative stress over time. So you've got to start promoting an approach that overcomes the cause of the UTIs. But for UTIs, again, I'll go to Nature Sunshine. They have a formula that we used so effectively. It's so quick. It's capitalized capital J, capital P dash X. And I tell people to get a couple bottles. It's very inexpensive. I show them how to get it at wholesale. And you don't have to order every month. There's no buy-in fee or anything like that. But this is an old established herbal type company that has pure herbal formulas. And this is a formula that is so effective with UTIs. And I tell people 2 bottles, take 3 capsules in the morning and 3 at bedtime. And for those first 2 bottles, and then get yourself another bottle and take 3 at bedtime. And completely gone, and then put the bottle on the shelf. If they start to come back, start to take them again. But again, diet, hydration, stay away from soft drinks, even with UTIs, very important. Eat right and so on. That's the premise for overall generalized good health.
Yeah.
But that works, Mark. It works, and it works quickly. It has an antibiotic type effect, but it also soothes and heals the tissue specifically of the urinary system, kidneys and bladder.
Here's a go. And these, when in doubt, ask your doctor, of course. But is it okay to take quercetin if you take thyroid medicine?
Yes. Yes, and why thyroid? That all of a sudden is an issue. I'm getting a lot of referrals about that, and many times people will say, "Well, my hair is falling out," and they got a test, and it was a thyroid issue. Most of the time, it's hypothyroidism, but sometimes it's underactive, and sometimes it's overactive. But if you don't want to go on thyroid medication, and the problem with it is, and I would hope that it would work as designed, but a lot of people will tell me, I've been on such and such of thyroid medication for years, and I'm no better, I'm no worse. I don't know if it's helping me or not. But in the training that I received way back when, we won't talk about how far, but thyroid issues, whether it's overactive or underactive, the thyroid needs iodine. And I always tell people to get it. You already made a suggestion as to a really good iodine formula, but start taking those drops of iodine. It takes a little while for a thyroid to realize, okay, you're giving me what I need. I'm finally going to work correctly. But if you take Pretendum NRF2 and cause cell function to stabilize and normalize in the cells of the thyroid, it's quicker.
Makes sense. The spelling for the thing for the UTI, I'm trying to find the product so I can show it. I've had a lot of people ask.
Okay, it's and they can contact me. They know how to get in touch with me. It's JPX, JP-X. The letters are capitalized.
JPX for bladder. Sorry, I'm going to track that one down. Nature's Sunshine. Herbal formula.
It's and you can. I mean, it's inexpensive. If you want to order it at retail, you can just call them. But if you want to get the price break and get it at wholesale, just tell them to contact me. I'll tell them how to do it. I've got lots and lots of people. I use Nature Sunshine a lot, and then secondarily VitaCost for targeted situations like we're talking about here. And then when you're done and it's over with, put it on the shelf. Hopefully you cleaned up your diet and being responsible, and the body's now working and it's over with, and it won't come back. If it does, it's normally less frequent till eventually it doesn't occur anymore, which when it comes to UTIs, that's a good thing. Doesn't occur anymore.
All right. Recently read taking zinc regularly can lower your copper balance, and you must keep that up as well. Copper.
I've heard that as well, but what would I suggest? The logical thing to do, I see that cattail going past. The logical thing to do would be to do a search and that will promote a lot of understanding relative to that. But and I don't know that would mean you would have to take copper every day. Maybe like taking lysine a couple times a week if you take Cardio for Life on a regular basis. And Mark, I still get testimonies with that. Oh my God! But if you do a good search and vet it, and if you don't like what you saw the first time, go to a couple other links. And a lot of times it's research related, and you'll finally get your answer. The answer that individual is looking for that's best for them, because everybody's different and your approaches are different, etc.
Let's see. Do you have anything for restless leg? This person did potassium, calcium, magnesium to stop theirs. I don't know if you have anything specific for.
Yeah, well, what's the cause? At least the contributing factor is age-related oxidative stress. So we'd have to neutralize that and then look at their diet. I know some have used magnesium and potassium, and it worked for that. And there are over-the-counter remedies for restless leg syndrome, but that's still using a target and taking something to hopefully overcome the symptoms of that one thing. Why not get the whole body to function normally, at least at useful levels, and give it the opportunity to recognize what's causing those legs to be restless and twitch and so on. And but I would probably need to talk to that person. It wouldn't take long. A little bit about their background and what's going on and what their diet's been like. Have they been injured, etc.? Are you drinking water? And then we could make a determination to at least get started, activate the cells, open up the genetic pathways, and see if we can get that problem to disappear. We've been successful in the past, but with that situation especially, that's an individualized problem that could be different for 100 people that would call me about that. We may need to use a little bit different approach with each of those people.
At home sinus infection. Any thoughts for you? Garlic, onion, anything natural you would take so you don't have to chase down the antibiotics and the doctor? Somebody just asked that question. I was like,
Nature's Sunshine has a formula for that too, but for me that's old school, because anytime now I use Xlear. And I went to Kroger, our huge Kroger store in a neighboring community this past week, and they have a huge pharmacy. I mean huge, the biggest pharmacy I have ever seen in any facility. And I asked the girl, I was walking all over and I couldn't find anything related to sprays and so on. And I said, do you have Xlear? It's a nasal spray. She said, oh, sir, she's come over here. Our nasal sprays are over here. And there was a huge selection of everything under the sun. And there was Xlear, and there was Xlear decongestant, which I never heard about before, but they did not have the Xlear rescue. In my opinion, the Xlear rescue temporarily for a sinus infection is the ticket. Use it for 3 to 6 days and then go to the Xlear regular nasal spray. And so, especially with people that have these respiratory issues, we already know the clinical research data that's out there and available for this natural, inexpensive formulation. I mean, a lot of places it's $19.99 a bottle. Kroger had it for $12.99, which I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't need it. I did buy the decongestant. It was only $9.99. So that is the most inexpensive form of modality of treatment that I could suggest for sinus problems. Now, you could use a Flonase, which is a over-the-counter now available corticosteroid, and I would suggest maybe still use that a couple of times a week if you're having those problems. But I think the better solution is Xlear Rescue first for 3 to 6 days, and then go to Xlear regular nasal spray.
I've got I just noticed the time. I have to start wrapping things up, but this is a great one to end it on. What about smelling odd things? Like people that are post-corona, they're recovering, but their smell hasn't. Any thoughts on, hey, how do I get that reset?
Yep, that's what if you're not a member of Health Topics, Dr. Rich and Tippy, and you don't have access to our doctor's number that I'm collaborating with on this venture, then that approach would be the low-dose immunotherapy under the tongue sublingual approach with at least one tablet of Protandim NRF2. And this is what we're looking at to bring people out of the doldrums relative to those lingering symptoms to COVID. That is the entire purpose for doing this and helping those people. And Marcus, there's so many that contact me and say the same thing. And in many cases, it's a year or so before they finally get back to normal, whatever that is. This approach seems to be working within 10 days to 6 weeks maximum for those individuals that have suffered the lingering effects of what you mentioned. If you can't get it, find the information to contact this doctor. Starting next Tuesday, they can contact me, and I'll provide them with an ability to connect with him.
Perfect. All right. Anything you want to say in closing? Because I need to start wrapping things up.
Happy New Year to everybody. Wow, I'm just going to kind of spend the day in the office today, and Stacy already told me she's away but has her computer, and she'll help if necessary. Mark, I'm just going to kind of relax, and Tippy and I'm going to watch some bowl games and whatever, enjoy the new year, and we all cook around here, so that's going to be a good thing. And then next week we'll start into the new year, and hopefully it's going to be a better one, and things are going to change for the positive. And for that, sir, the incredible MarkZ, I'm depending on you.
I'm going to see what I can make happen, or at least what I can find out anyways.
No pressure. No pressure, Mark.
Yeah, no pressure at all. None at all. All right, Dr. Rich, can't thank you enough for joining us. It's good to have a little bit of normalcy back and to see you on a Tuesday. We're in the what I call the twilight zone week between Christmas and New Year's every year.
Yeah, whatever that is. And if there's anybody out there listening from Minnesota, can you at least take it easy on my Mountaineers tonight? I understand they have a good team, and I'm hoping we can win, but it doesn't sound too good. But I'm going to watch them anyhow. It's like the Steelers. I still watch them.
Even when it's painful and ugly, you hope they take some mercy. All right, Dr. Rich.
Yeah, I watch to hope that Ben doesn't get murdered before he finally quits. So I don't want that to happen. So with all that, Happy New Year, everybody. See you soon next week, I guess.
Take care. See you next week.
All right, bye now.
Bye now. Yeah, it is kind of my hope or thoughts for the whole like Steelers thing. His offensive line is so bad. I feel like the new offensive coordinator was like Belichick, specifically calling plays to see if they can get rid of the old quarterback. What he did to Bernie Kosar in Cleveland. I mean, it literally. I mean, as a coach, between his offensive coordinator himself, they literally would call plays in hopes of getting Bernie hurt, so that they could get rid of him. I swear that is what's going on with Matt Canada and the crew in Pittsburgh. I think they're trying to get Ben killed. It's nuts. All right. Much love and appreciation, guys. I will be back at 7 p.m. Hopefully we will have some fantastic news by then, or at least something to go on, because it is we're sitting here in the trade winds, aka the doldrums of the RV right now. All right, guys. See you this evening at 7. Unless there's